O'clock hour, we helped you gear up to go camping with your family or maybe your friends this year.
But if a day trip is what you're looking for, we've got you covered too. Let's head out to Sean Daly, who's live at Fort DeSoto this morning. Hi there, Sean.
That's right, guys. There's beaches here, and there's camping, and there's kayaking, but there's also some learning to be done. The Fort DeSoto, built in 1898 during the Spanish-American War. There was never a battle fought here, but Phil, my buddy Phil here, the volunteer, who's how many tours did you give? About 1,000?
Over 1,000 tours here.
You were telling me that it didn't quite look like this back then.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Most people don't realize we're 7 miles from the mainland, so Mother Nature was different back then. There were no trees on this island, no palm trees.
No trees at all?
No trees, no pine trees, so guess what? There's no shade.
So how did all these trees get here?
They were brought out by the park system primarily back in the 60s, and they've been propagating from there by themselves later on. But yeah, but this is a windswept barrier beach back then. No trees, no shade.
So U.S. troops here.
Yes.
No shade.
No shade. And no fresh water. No fresh water.
No fresh water.
No.
What are the, and you're saying their uniforms were wool.
Oh, yeah, we forget about that. Military uniform back then is made out of wool, so they're wearing wool pants, wool shirt, the wool over blouse, and they're wearing the famous military ankle to elbow woolen long johns.
So the irony, Phil,
yeah.
Allow me to drop some irony on you as well, is that right now Fort DeSoto is considered one of the most beautiful places in America to be,
right.
But back then it was possibly the worst place in America to be.
It wasn't on their top 10 hit parade.
Yeah.
Because remember, they deployed from Alabama, and they came here for 3 years unaccompanied, so they left their families behind. And you're 4.5 hours from Tampa by boat. So
when they say, son, we're sending you to Fort DeSoto back then, it's like, oh.
Yeah, well, they probably wouldn't know what they were getting into till they got here. So, yeah, so it
never a battle fought here.
Never a battle
but
fought
they
here.
trained all the time.
They trained all the time. They fired about 12 to 1,400 rounds out of this fort in training over about 8.5, 9 years. So they did fire rounds in training. But like I say, they had to live here. So that
what
was
they do for leisure? What they do for fun? They swim. You were saying only 1 in 10 people knew how to swim back then.
Back then, most people didn't really know how to swim like we would think of today. They could, they could tread water and stuff, but you don't think of swimming in the same way back then. So the Ys weren't around yet, so they didn't have people learn how to swim too much yet. So the biggest thing might have been some type of sandlot football and games of that nature, horseshoes, stuff of that nature.
Sandlot, in the heat, they take off the wool unis though, right?
Well, not really. I mean, if they're on post or on base, you have to wear the uniform no matter what. So I have pictures of the men fishing in full uniform.
Oh, that's crazy.
So,
Phil, I got to wrap you up here.
No
You're
problem.
a wicked smart guy. When's your first tour today?
I'll be giving one in about 30 minutes or so.
30 minutes? I'll be there.
All right,
I'll be front of the pack. I want to learn more. Guys, go to abcactionnews.com to learn more about Fort DeSoto Park. Oh, and later on, we are finishing up strong with the most beautiful view you've ever seen, and I will be in that view as well. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, can't wait for that. Thank you.